I'm watching a new series that they have about The Biggest Loser. There's so many question marks I have, so let's dive in. This was a strong intro. One of the trainers explains that the goal of the show was to find a way to make watching a bunch of people losing weight into an entertaining television show. I think I just saw them putting somebody in a coffin. I'm not sure what that has to do with weight loss. I feel like that just feels like torture to me. But okay. So apparently, weight loss medication was offered to the contestants. It's no surprise that they were willing to risk everything to win. This wasn't just about losing weight now. There was $250,000 on the line. Okay, that's something that I know has happened to so many people that I know. And I even feel like I've had moments where I thought, I'll do anything to lose weight. So I understand what they're saying right now. And you see people passing out and whatever. So, like, doctors were supposed to be around them, if I remember correctly, of what they used to tell us about The Biggest Loser. Some of these stories were heartbreaking, like this one. This contestant was talking about how much weight he had lost on the show, believing he had finally learned what he needed to know to keep the weight off, only to end up regaining the weight and being obese again. Well, obviously, if they're saying that everyone was using drugs and being pushed like crazy people, then it does make sense what he's saying, that like he didn't know everything, right? Because one thing that we do, well, the doctors have said over and over, so keto carnivore doctors have said over and over, if you lose weight doing a certain diet or using a weight loss drug, you will need to keep doing either that diet or that drug to keep the weight off. So it's kind of matching what I've learned. 20 years of yo-yo dieting, 1,000 pounds lost, and still obese. I lost over 1,000 pounds and I keep gaining it back. How are you losing the weight? So I'm kind of waiting to hear what he's going to say helped him to lose all the weight that we saw that he did lose. But right away, my big fear is that it didn't have anything to do with learning about the huge negative impact that carbohydrates have on our diet, on our health, on our life, on our body. He saw the show as an opportunity to save his life, while the producer saw a bulletin board posting from an obese person looking for a trainer to save his life as a great TV show. I really want to just pause and just point out that he saw a sign that said obese person seeking trainer. And I know he's a producer of TV shows, but that was the thought he had, is like, oh, let's put this person on television. That person wasn't trying to become a TV show. That person was trying to save their life. And I feel like it's frustratingly scary how easy it is for companies to turn my plea for help into a TV show. Season 1 showcased how fat everyone was and put contestants in compromised situations. Was the goal inspiration or a hilarious exposition of these fat people trying to win $250,000? They surrounded contestants with cakes and pies, had them build towers carrying tempting foods with their teeth. They tested how far they could push the ridiculous situation. Okay, so season 1 is about torturing people who are overweight by making them put their mouth on things that normally they would eat, the same things that are causing them to be overweight. This is not about helping them. This is about making fun of fat people. But under the guise that, but you're going to lose weight, guys, and you're going to be healthy. This is mental torture. So you're going to be, hopefully you're going to be physically healthy by the end, but it's still mental torture. Will I be psychologically healthy? Like, part of the reason a lot of these people are probably here is because they've been bullied all their lives. They've been made fun of all their lives. They're tired of people seeing them only as fat. And here we are putting them in this situation where it's like, yes, you're fat. Let's make fun of you. And what the hell? Like, I'm so shocked. Like, did I miss the first season? Did I not see the first season? I know I've watched the show. I don't remember this. Maybe I was just too young. for it to click for me. But oh my goodness, horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. He was nervous about the first weigh-in. Oh, and let me go back to that. You weigh in, and people that didn't lose enough weight are off the show. So ultimately, it's a competition more than it's about helping people to lose weight. It's for views more than it's about helping people to lose weight. Because if ultimately you really want people to lose weight, why wouldn't everybody get through the 9 weeks and then you just win or lose? The contestants lost weight. That solidified in his mind that Biggest Loser was not a disrespectful television show because they wanted to lose weight. It still was a completely disrespectful, nasty beginning. I don't know if it changed over time, but that beginning where you're making people move food around with their mouths when they're obese and trying to lose, that's disrespectful. I'm sorry. Just because somebody lost weight doesn't change the fact that that was disrespectful. As The Biggest Loser progressed and they lost more weight, people were being eliminated. His competitive spirit kicked in and he lost his focus on getting healthy. He was exercising even during the rest periods. So he lost his focus. It was no longer about getting healthy. And I feel like that's another interesting thing here, is that making weight loss a competition where you actually could get sent home, that you actually could, then instead of you learning what you need to learn so that you could sustainably do whatever it is they're supposed to be teaching you long term, you're just trying to drop as much weight as you possibly can so you don't get sent home. Trying to lose as much weight as you possibly can, probably to get the cash prize too. I mean, it's a good amount of money. But again, missing the point that a lot of these people are here because they were not healthy. During the last 10 days of The Biggest Loser, he wasn't eating. He was doing the master cleanse, which was lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper, and any other tricks he'd learned to drop weight. He was drinking maple syrup. So I'm losing weight at the expense of my health. When he won The Biggest Loser, Jillian gave him a congratulations hug and told him that he had just made her a millionaire. Ryan, you just made me a millionaire. So now we have a better understanding of why Jillian was doing it. That's interesting. If I can help you to lose weight, everybody's going to want to work with me. I'll be a millionaire. Wow, that's amazing. His notoriety helped him to get Julia Roberts as a client. Wow, okay. That is a huge name drop. And I think, though, it's, again, talking about the why are we doing anything that we're doing. If we're trying to look like celebrities without realizing that celebrities look good for their job, it's their living, it's everything. Like, they're not necessarily health focused, they are look good focused, and those are very different things. As the actor that was in here said, he started to focus on winning, not about healthy. This lady had a very interesting spin on what The Biggest Loser was really about. She feels that our society holds thinness at such a high esteem that nothing that these contestants will ever do will be as celebrated as them getting thin. Nothing you do in your entire life will be celebrated as much as getting thin. Is there not a big, That's everything is wrong with that sentence. So what they're saying is that whatever work you do, if you're saving lives, not as important as being thin. What they're saying is that if you have children, not as important as staying thin or getting thin, or that thinness in this country matters more than helping people. The fact that they say these sentences. He was so proud to explain that the show benefited from finding fat people who were unhappy. And better yet, unhappy with a great story, because there were millions of them to choose from. Even if we would say that this show started off with a good intention, I mean, we can't even say it started off with good intention. They had fat people moving food with their mouths, but it just gets worse. Like, the more you listen, it went from bad to worse. Oh, a happy fat person that wants to lose weight, they're not on our show. You better be miserable to get in here. This lady's type 2 diabetes diagnosis was her wake-up call. Then she found The Biggest Loser finale while she was at home, eating a double filet-o-fish sandwich combo with fries and an orange drink. And the hard part is that she got her diagnosis, went home, kept eating normally because that's a normal way to eat for most people, and of course is blaming herself. Well, I'm eating this way, so this is my fault and my problem. Even though we're all encouraged to eat that way. It's normal to have chicken sandwich, fish sandwich, hamburger. These are normal things to do. Pork sandwich, they make them with pork now. So this woman was very active as a child, and she ended up gaining weight anyway. Her goal as a mom was to make sure that her daughters didn't see her weight struggles, and she also wanted to protect them from the pain she felt around being overweight. What I love about that is, first of all, she's trying to protect her kids, but second of all, you see she's out there, she's actively living life. She's not, we often assume, believe that overweight people are just lazy. They don't do anything. They're just sitting on the couch. That's why they're overweight. And we see that she's not. She's an active person. So again, I feel like, at least in this particular case, what she's saying is kind of breaking the stereotype. Protect my kids and do stuff. Now, lucky her, she receives a call from Jillian Michaels herself. Not only was she on the show, she was leaving the very next day. That was Mother's Day morning, and she was so nervous, she ended up binging her fridge the night before. Another thing I question, did they get taught how to manage their anxiety so that when they're nervous and anxious and in problems in life, that they wouldn't binge? So you're on your way to what's supposed to be a fresh start and weight loss, and you're overeating. I understand it. I feel it. I get it. I get where she is. But at the same time, that would have been huge information to learn when she gets there. The contestants were expected to burn 6,000 calories per day. This contestant, while following their protocols, ended up falling and injuring her back. They told her to walk it off because she was not used to working out and could not trust her body. So I'm in pain, but I'm being told not to trust my body, just walk it off. And by the way, if I don't end up winning The Biggest Loser, maybe I lose weight, which is, again, that's why they're there. But I'm walking away with no money. So why would I risk not being able to walk ever again, or risk real damage? A doctor should have checked that person out and made sure that she was okay. The same lady recalls another challenge where they could win the chance to train at home with their family and a personal trainer. She felt like they were purposefully being mean because they know that everyone was trying to do better and they were tempting them with ridiculous foods. This lady points out that contestants will still be weighed at the end of the week. This contestant, who clearly wants to see her sons, cries over eating the pizza. So basically, again, the hard thing about this is I'm being tempted. So my brain is going to see the junk food that I'm used to eating, that I've never needed to say no to before, and click in that, Violet, you want it. And then I'm being tempted with, I can go see my daughter and my spouse and go home for a little bit, who I miss them. Remember, they started this off by saying that they spent time in the hotel before the show started for days doing nothing, isolated. And I think that's the purpose. We're going to isolate them and then we're going to torture them so that they will screw up and eat the wrong thing so that they can win a chance to go home. You're not winning anything there. This is them using food to trap you into looking like you just don't care about your health and you just want to be fat, when in fact the truth is you miss your family. And they're using the fact that the only options they even gave you were junk. It's ridiculous. If they would have given them steak, if they would have given them fish or whatever, maybe they still could have eaten more calories and lost weight and still lost weight because they would have been eating something healthy. It's ridiculous. And it's mean. It's mean. Like this is this should be the definition of bullying and taking advantage of people. Apparently, these were supposed to be temptations. He actually believes that this is real life. He said that he may not have gotten them all right, but then the other producer says that they needed the show to be relatable to the rest of the world. When will it ever happen to any of us that we are held hostage and told the only way to get to see our family is to eat junk food? That's not relatable. I'm sorry. That's him being a jerk. Family could have revisited them regardless. They could have allowed for that. But they don't. Or you could have won seeing your family because you're doing well. That's not what they did. They created a fake ass challenge where the only way you get the thing that you want is to fail. And then they say, but it's your fault. Again, it's always the contestants. So it's always the fat person's fault. And this is, if there's nothing that you get from this reality stupidity, it's, I want you to recognize that they're going to always blame the fat person for being fat. Even when it's the thin people setting them up to fail. It's the money people setting them up to fail. It's the companies who are going to make money hand over fist on their failure, setting them up to fail. His justification is that you will pass a cupcake on the counter or a fast food restaurant on your way home from work. And when you pass those things, nothing is forcing you to go in there. It's not like you have to go in to the restaurant so that you can get home to see your family. If you learned how to be healthy in a good environment like I did, there's no temptation. So this, what he's saying right now, that's garbage. He wanted to torture them because it was good for television. And there's nothing that anyone's going to say that makes me think any different. He's a jerk. Now this lady comes along and points out that in her lifetime, she has never experienced any of the scenarios that these contestants were made to endure on The Biggest Loser. She correctly asserts that contestants were shown in situations that were specifically designed to cause viewers to draw conclusions about their character based on their actions in the presence of junk food. Yes, I agree with that. And I think probably people they play into it unknowingly, because once they start eating, they're acting like it's a party in that particular scene. And at a party, you're going to be more relaxed. You're going to be more fun. You're going to be, right? Like, you notice the difference between when they all went in the room together versus when they were each in the room one-on-one by themselves. They didn't seem happy eating the stuff when they were by themselves. And that makes sense, because when I'm by myself eating, like the first guy talked about in his car, he's not doing it because he wants to be doing it. He's doing it because he feels compelled. And that's about my food. That's about my junk addiction. When they're doing this scene where they're letting everybody in together, it's setting them up to look bad. Because if we do end up eating, well, we're all doing it. And so we're all going to gain weight. And so we're all doing the same risk. I know how much risk you took, and you know how much risk I took. And it gives me a false sense of believing that I'm not doing any worse than you. I probably could still win this thing. We all have different bodies. And therefore, my body's reaction to junk food could be way worse than yours, no matter how little you ate or how much you ate versus how little I ate or how much I ate. The producers put these two obese African-American women on parallel bars who have never used them before. She questioned why they were put on the bars without any type of direction. So this woman points out that when the woman fell off the parallel bars, they added camera shake to make it look like she had caused an earthquake. Yeah, which is probably, not likely. They're not going to put their camera in a place where it can get broken. I'm sure that was added for effect. And how disrespectful is that to show that? This contestant wondered if they were set up on purpose to make it look like they didn't know how to work out. She eventually learned that it was good for TV and that people like making fun of fat people. People like making fun of fat people. So on one hand, he's trying to say, no, but we're trying to show them real life, whatever. That's not real life. Well, even if it's real life, is that good for the people that you're saying you're trying to help? You put them in a situation where they're wasting time, first of all, however long they're playing with these parallel bars, that they're not doing any real exercise. They're wasting time. Everybody else is working out, and the two black people are wasting time. And worse, they could get hurt and put them in a position where they can't continue. But that's good for TV. It's frustrating like you can't even imagine. She shares that being asked to do parallel bars made her think they were actually trying to make her feel like a loser. And then we get the reminder from the trainer that they were trying to make an entertaining primetime television show. That's a reason that it's okay to make individuals feel horrible. That's a reason that it's okay to make individuals feel like they're less than people, because it's prime time television. That's not an excuse. I'm sorry. That's just you being complicit and saying, well, because they're paying me to do this, I'm going to do it. How about no? The trainer actually admits the most important thing for weight loss is what we eat, but that would be boring television. So he just acknowledged that the most important thing for weight loss is diet. The first positive thing that I've heard in this video so far, an acknowledgement that it's the food that you eat that determines what you're going to weigh. Thank you for saying that finally. I'm sorry, I got a little pissed right here and I ended up stopping the video to say something else. But by saying that, he's also acknowledging that all of this exercise garbage that they're doing wasn't really doing what we think it's doing. That's what he's actually acknowledging there. That is the spectacle. That you're going to work out, but it's what you're eating that matters most. Apparently, according to the trainer, producers encouraged them to push contestants until they were on the verge of throwing up. So the producers are pushing them to push people to the point where they're pushing their body so much that they want to throw up, that they might pass out, that they might get hurt, when we know that the food determines how much you weigh. He just said it. And he knows it. So he doesn't get a pass. The medical advisor for The Biggest Loser spoke about the 99% success rate helping people to lose weight. He was concerned that as the show got more popular, the contestants got heavier, and their ability to exercise dramatically declined. He felt that it was not possible to have a show about weight loss that was safe. You can't have a show that's based on weight loss that's safe. I don't know about that. Again, the major thing that he just said that determines your weight loss is what you eat. So yes, you can. They could have focused on what the people, they could have taught them about nutrition. They could have taught them about carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. They could have helped them to understand why eating all the processed foods that they were eating was causing their weight gain. Like, that's not true what he just said, that it was not possible to teach these people, to have them on a show and help them lose weight without them being in physical danger. It's not true. He explained that crossing the line was the ultimate in high stakes. And then she explained that her legs felt heavy, she was feeling extremely weak, and then we have images of her crawling towards the finish line as if it was life and death. So you travel all this way, you get this contract that you have no choice but to sign, which you've signed, thinking that you're already on the show, and then they throw this curveball at you that, nope, you're not on the show yet. You have to, you still need to do this one last test to get... Seriously? That is, again, how can we torture the fat people? What are we, how much meaner can we be? As the producer or whoever, the Roth guy said earlier, you have to just keep amping it up and amping it up and amping it up. It's ridiculous. She is clearly desperate to cross the line and says that she wanted to change her life. I wonder if they're actually going to not let her do the race because she doesn't cross the line. Or if they're like I'm in shock right now. Again, it's things that I don't remember. The next thing we see is she's collapsed just past the finish line with the help of some of the other contestants. Now, again, the other part of this is, why didn't they give her water? Why didn't they help her? Like, the show itself is mattering more than the fact that this woman's health is clearly in a problem. Going back to what the doctor said a few minutes ago, they're willing to do whatever they have to do for the show to be spectacular, even if people's health are on the line. Once she crossed the finish line, she was unresponsive. It was frantic as they tried to revive her. And then the producer had the nerve to say, no one could have expected that something like that would have happened. No one could have expected that asking people who are overweight to run up a hill in the heat of California could cause a problem. That's a garbage statement right there. It's impossible that he didn't know that heat stroke is a thing. That is a... How do people just bold-faced lie like that? I don't understand. Honestly, I got a little pissed off again and I stopped the video again. And even if you couldn't preview that could happen, when it starts to happen, why not intervene and say, you know what, no problem, you're on the show, just cut that scene or something. Why is it that we keep going to get the clip? And then she told us that she saw her grandfather, darkness, and then light, and she knew she had died and come back. I don't even know what to say. I'm in shock. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. Ultimately, what are we to understand from this episode? It's all about entertainment. And as much as they're presenting The Biggest Loser, as much as they presented The Biggest Loser to the viewing public as this amazing show about how, these trainers are going to transform these people's lives and it's uplifting and whatever, underlying everything, it was about spectacle. Underlying everything, it was about making as much money as we can by keeping the shows as top as we can, by putting in whatever things we can put into the episode to make you laugh at them, to make you feel bad for them, to make you whatever emotional reaction they needed to get from us so that they could make sure that that show was #1 every single week. Is that actually about helping these people lose weight? No, it's not. That's taking advantage of the fact that they want to lose weight. That's taking advantage of the fact that they'll do anything to lose weight. That's taking advantage of the fact that they'll put their health and life on the line to lose weight. They don't care. They don't care. It's a TV show. It's about making money. It was about exploiting people. It was about exploiting situations. Every single person who applied for the show thought they were going to get help. Now, yes, you watch the show, you see how hard they are on you. But as the first guy said, when he came in and saw the balloon thing, and what is he thinking? Oh, but I could do that. They're not trying hard enough. This is what we're told. This is what we're taught. This is what every person is made to believe, that it's just about trying harder. It's just about pushing myself more. It's just about being that little bit extra. That's all I need to do, because if I would do that little bit extra, I would get success like everybody else. That trainer, he said the truth. It's about what you eat. He was used to working with people who were used to eating the way that kept them on the thinner side. And what he was really trying to help them do was grow muscle. And he got into this situation where he understood these people don't know how to feed themselves to maintain a healthy weight. And then you realize that the show was about exploiting that. And now I think this show is just exploiting it even. So it's a round two of exploitation. First, we exploited you by pretending that we didn't know that your weight was caused by the food companies and not by you. And now we're exploiting you to out the show, sure, for a bigger purpose of what? I'm not exactly sure yet. Do I want to watch every episode to find out? Not really. I don't know if I'm going to watch another episode. You let me know. Do you want me to watch another episode? I'm not sure I want to, but if you want me to do it, I might do it. I'm disgusted by this because it's really about taking advantage of people who wanted to improve their lives. Wellness warrior, that doesn't sit well with me. None of this does. The food you eat determines what you weigh. Period. Exercise, yeah, that helps you to strengthen your body. That helps you to improve your cardiovascular system. Yes, it's important, but the food you eat determines what you weigh. Please comment below. What did you think about this video? Should I watch episode 2? I don't know. Let me know what you're thinking.